Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm excited. Every Thursday we've been doing this thing called Dear John Letters. We got a good one for later today. I'm going to tell you all about that in a bit. Was it a week ago? Almost 2 weeks ago now. We had inauguration, and I've got a question, Heidi. Who was the first U.S. president to be inaugurated wearing American-made clothing?
I have no clue.
James Madison.
Okay.
Up until then, there were no American-made clothing because they were all British subjects, and they had purchased their clothing from elsewhere. And James Madison was like, you know what? We kind of have our own little country going now. I'm going to wear some American-made clothing. It's kind of cool. Take a listen to this. Romans used to believe that walnuts could cure head ailments because they were shaped similar to that of a brain.
Oh.
So like, hey, I think these are something to do with your brain.
I could see them.
I
could
could see
see
that.
that correlation.
And Patrick Henry had 17 children. He had the distinction of being elected the first governor of Virginia. But did I mention he had 17 children? That's a lot of kids. All right, coming up, we got some some special things on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, February the 2nd. So today is Groundhog Day.
Oh, you love Groundhog Day.
I know. It is one of my favorite days, and it used to be my favorite movie.
Yeah.
It's still up there, like in the top 5. It's Ayn Rand Day. It's Candlemas. It is Crepe Day, or La Chandelière, whatever that means. It is also Groundhog Job Shadow Day.
Okay.
Not exactly sure what that means. In addition to Groundhog Day, it's Hedgehog Day. It's also Marmot Day.
Shouldn't Hedgehog
All
Day
the
have
varmints
its
are
own day?
Yeah, they're horning in on the groundhog. Sled Dog Day 2, World Play Your Ukulele Day, World Wetlands Day, and it's Imbolc. You know what Imbolc is?
No clue.
I had to Google it because I had no clue. So it's also known as Bridget's Day. It is the traditional festival marking the beginning of spring. So this is a, what is this? Scottish thing. It's
Okay.
Gaelic. So there you go.
Is it spring?
It's apparently, I guess it all depends on what that little Puxatawny Phil has to say.
Huh.
So there we go. All that's going on this Thursday, the 2nd day of February.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John from the John and Heidi Show. Join me and my wife Heidi at 80s in the Sand, a week-long 80s event this November 11th through the 18th in beautiful Punta Cana. That's in the Dominican Republic. You'll get to meet and listen to 80s bands like Loverboy, Starship, Howard Jones, and many more. Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others. Get all of the details at 80sinthesand.com. Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person. That's 80sinthesand.com, promo code RADIO.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I can't wait to hear what Heidi has to say about this. Imagine winning a contest, then suddenly finding out that, I guess you didn't win because during the game, we changed the rules.
Oh.
The Muscular Dystrophy Association in Tempe, Arizona, a real estate firm, and 2 charity promoters are being sued by Keith Schott. Now, usually, I'm not a big fan of people getting sued because you're like, oh, well, come on, just get over it. But listen to this. We're not big on suing charities. That's a bad idea. But it kind of looks like maybe Keith is on the right side of this one. Keith is a golfer who had apparently, legitimately, made a fully witnessed hole-in-one during a charity golf tournament. However, he was allegedly turned down for the widely advertised $1 million prize.
Oh, boy.
When the sponsors, in the middle of the game, imposed a new rule that says, money shots also have to be videotaped. Wait a minute. What? No. There are people that saw it. There's all kinds of people that saw it, but nobody was videotaping every shot made.
Right. You would have to tape every single tee off.
Keith's lawyer said, remarkably, the defendants changed the rules, quote, on the spot, end quote. I don't think that's going to go well for them.
Not so much. That's not going to work out for you in court.
I have read some of the details on, not that I've ever golfed in $1 million hole-in-one thing, but there's hole-in-one insurance, as funny as that sounds. And I was looking at getting some insurance, not for a hole-in-one, but I wanted to do $1 million duck race. Remember this?
Yes, I remember this.
She wouldn't let me do it. Anyway, when I was reading all the details on that, a lot of the time it says right in the rules that it must be videotaped. So this stuff has to be videotaped because the people that are going to pay the $1 million want to see evidence. So I can understand that, but they didn't have it posted. So that wasn't listed in any rule
So
anywhere.
nobody was taping anything.
Yeah, so nobody... And,
Yeah.
and it's up to the people who are in charge of the event to record it. It's not like every golfer should be recording every shot.
Exactly. So if
So,
they wanted it recorded, that should have been their burden.
And it's not that hard to do. You can very easily put... what are those little cameras? GoPro? Put one of those on... You need 18 of those. Put them on every hole. Whatever you got to do.
A lot of times those hole-in-one tournaments, it's for a specific hole. Like if
Yeah,
you get a hole-in-one
whatever it
on
is.
this hole, that way they only have to record it one
See?
hole.
So there you go. I don't know how it works. All I know is it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. If telling them to just say no to drugs doesn't work, which apparently didn't, maybe you should try a little Beethoven. Rail officials in a Dutch town play classical music by like the Beethoven and Bach at the station's pedestrian tunnel in the hopes it'll keep the drug users away. Officials in the town of Herlen will first carry out tests of music on various composers to discover which classical music irritates the junkies the most. So they have these drug users that are going in the rail tunnels. These are like train tunnels.
Right.
And they're getting all hopped up on some sort of controlled substance, passing out and getting run over by the train. So they're going, okay, that's a bad idea. They're just going in there because, hey, we're in the dark. We can hide out in here and do our thing. So now they're going to start playing classical music.
Why would classical music irritate them? Isn't that
don't know.
supposed to be soothing?
Yeah, you'd think so. Now they're going to just get a more highly sophisticated type of transient
You know
to
what
hang
they
out
should
in the
be
tunnel.
playing?
What's
The
that?
garbage our daughter listens to.
Yeah.
Can't imagine anybody
I don't know what
wanting
that
to hang
is.
out.
Heidi calls it Cookie Monster
It
music.
sounds like Cookie Monster is singing. Angry Cookie
you want
Monster.
to sing a little bit of it for us? No? No. Okay. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Maybe this is the mom of the year. According to police in New Jersey, 36-year-old Rosalind Walker sat at one screen in a movie Cineplex with her boyfriend while her 11-year-old sat in a different movie at a different screen. However, after her movie ended, she got tired of waiting for her son, so she went home with the boyfriend to New York City. This was in New Jersey.
My
Police
gosh.
called her the next morning to come pick up her son. She demanded that they drive him home. After officers ordered her immediately to the station, she showed up in a bad mood, threatening, quote, to sue them for the inconvenience. She wound up being charged with assaulting an officer in addition to endangering a child's welfare.
Well, yeah, child endangerment, absolutely.
So her 11-year-old son had to sit
Oh
there
my
all
gosh.
night long.
oh
He went
my
to the
gosh.
movie. Her movie got done first. She got impatient and just said, let's just go. Let's just go home. And went to a different state.
Oh my gosh.
That happened in
That
New
woman
Jersey.
should not just be fined. She should be
Yeah,
in jail,
that's-
and
that's
her
a
child
bad-
should be taken away.
That is just a bad mom right there. So that's not good at all. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
And this is your scoop of the day. I've got this little rule we've had and imposed upon us. We did it ourselves. We said we're not going to talk politics on this program.
Right.
So when I say it was imposed, it's not like the radio station told us we couldn't. We just made the decision that we're not going to talk politics.
You made the decision.
But this, well, I did, because I'm the one that gets to answer the emails. So. But I've got a story here that mentions Donald Trump. But it's actually kind of an interesting story. There's a lot of people out there that maybe have dreamed of becoming president someday. And one of the cool little benefits of that is once you're president, there are things that get named after you. Think about how many elementary schools are like,
yeah.
Washington Elementary and Jefferson Elementary and all those things, and the streets that are named after them. And there's also, like Obama has an extinct lizard that was named after him, a lichen that was named after him, and many more things. Now, Donald Trump is getting in on the action with a moth, a tiny 9mm moth that is named for President Trump. Shockingly, it's not a joke. It's for real. Dr. Vazrik Nazari discovered this moth, and it's called the Neopalpa Donald Trumpi. is what it's called.
All
That's
right.
the name of the moth. That's the real thing. Thinks that the white and yellow scales on the moth's head kind of resemble Trump's distinctive hairstyle. And he hopes that naming the new species, which lives in Southern California after Trump, will draw attention to the important need for conservation in North America. So there you go. It's in Southern California and Baja. So where's Baja? I don't know where that is. Do you know where that is?
No.
Sounds like a cool place. Moving right along. American to Swiss study. The chances are good that you can add a few years to your life if you take the stairs instead of the elevator.
Yes, we know.
Doing this over and over and over will help improve your level of fitness. And that was something that the Americans and the Swiss worked together on, apparently, because, everybody just wants to know. So, Heidi, was that news to you, or did you already know that?
No, I already knew that, but here's the thing. I have to go up 5 flights of stairs to get to my office.
Yeah. Do you do that?
By the time I get there, and then my phone rings, I answer, and people think they accidentally called a phone sex line because I cannot breathe at all. So it's
I've
just
done
best
that.
if I take the elevator.
I've
I
done
take
that
the stairs
before.
down all the time, but I take the stairs. I do
know,
not take the stairs up because it's just.
I
too
did
many
that one
flights.
time because I was running late for a meeting, and it was on the 3rd floor of a building. And I got there just as the elevator doors closed, and there's
Yeah.
one elevator.
Right.
And I'm
And then you
looking
have
at
to
that, and I
wait.
was like, oh, no. So I ran up the steps thinking I'm going to get up there, and this is a much better idea. Not remembering that I'm a fat guy that's way out of shape. So I get up to the meeting, and the first...
Yeah.
It's like the first 3 minutes was basically me. And sadly...
And then you have to try to breathe
No.
quietly because you don't
Here's-
want people to know that you
I
are
even-
so.
I even waited outside the door for like a minute trying to get... compose myself.
By that time, you could have taken the elevator.
And the elevator came twice while I was waiting. Finally caught my breath, and then I step inside, and I'm still huffing like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
They're like, you okay over there? I'm like, yeah, I ran up your steps. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I'm really a fitness guru. We haven't really talked about much on this program right now.
No, not really.
14% of U.S. workers believe they have the perfect job for them. And more than half...
Only 14%.
Yeah, only 14%. More than half want to change careers. A Harris survey shows that the most coveted job... what sector do you think the most coveted jobs are in?
Retirement.
I don't see that. No. The most coveted jobs are in the arts and sciences, business management, technology, and healthcare. So which one of those are we? Are we arts?
Arts.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Is this the arts?
This would be the arts.
The art of talking. And I'm getting to the point where I almost have this down. 20 years of studying, and one of these days I'm going to have this all figured out. All right, this is going to do it for today. We didn't hardly talk at all. We had like 2 stories today.
That's all
on
right.
your scoop of the day. But we do have your Dear John letter on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John. Dear John.
Coming up in a moment, we'll tell you how you can submit a Dear John letter. But first, let's get to this week's Dear John letter. Dear John, I recently started dating again. That's cool. Isn't
That's
it?
cool. That's exciting.
I wonder how long it's been since he started dating. It says, recently started dating again. My new girlfriend is amazing, but there's one little issue. When we met, she was wearing contacts. Since we started dating, she quit wearing contacts and is wearing her glasses all the time. She's still beautiful, but I don't like the frames. Her glasses are pretty outdated. I know she loves them and thinks they make her look trendy, but I think they make her look poor. That's not good.
Okay.
What should I do? I don't want to break up with her over something this stupid. We're a perfect fit in so many other ways. Signed, I only have eyes for her. Aww. So, dear, I only have eyes for her. Get over it. I mean, come on. Seriously? Because you don't like her glasses? Now, if you guys are a perfect fit in so many other ways, just focus on all of those things. And if you don't like her glasses, maybe ask her to wear the contacts again. Now, my wife over here, you wear contacts almost all the time.
I do.
But you also have glasses. I think you look good with your glasses. You look good without your glasses. You look good both ways. Mm-hmm. And I think they're just fine. Now, if you had ridiculous Hubble telescope glasses that you wore, I guess that might be a whole different story. I don't know. But what do you think on that?
But I also make sure that I have updated glasses. I mean, I don't walk around in glasses that are outdated.
But, he's saying that she wears them and she thinks that they look trendy. And I think, in my mind, I know what he's talking about because I see people who wear, and I don't know what they're called, but I've heard them referred to as nerd glasses. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have like the pointy rim, pointy things. So if it doesn't say what she's wearing, but if she's wearing something like that and she thinks that she's trendy and he just thinks that it looks like that, they're
I don't know.
Outdated.
Something like that, I would say something. I would say something.
So where are my glasses? I'm going to put my glasses on here because I have reading glasses. So do these look okay on me, Heidi?
Yeah, I hoped you picked them out.
Oh, that's right. Now let's pretend like you don't like them.
Right.
What would you say to me?
I would say, I hate those glasses.
Those are your four
but
eyes.
we've also been together for, 17 years. So that's a little different. If this guy's only been with this girl for a few weeks, you might not want to say anything yet. But I would definitely say something. If like you're taking her to meet some people or you're going to go out or something, you might say, would you mind wearing your contacts tonight? I just love your eyes, and I think that your contacts really bring out your eyes. If you phrased it in a complimentary way, she might want to wear those because she knows that you think she looks beautiful that way, and she always would want to look beautiful for you, so that's the way that she would go out.
I remember, and this has been a few years back, but there was a guy that I know that he dated a girl who had glasses that I never told her this because I think that this would have probably made her feel bad, but her glasses reminded me of Mr. Potato Head's glasses. Okay. Remember the glasses Mr. Potato Head had?
Yeah.
They're like yellow frames, and her glasses looked just like those. And they were a little too small for her as well, just like Mr. Potato Head's glasses. Huh. So I just remember every time I would see them, I would think of that. I would think, I wonder if she knows that those look like Mr. Potato Head's glasses. Go. So again, Mr. I only have eyes for her. I think Heidi has some good advice there. And Heidi's the smarter of the two of us when it comes to, lady stuff. So here's another thing that you could do if you want to be devious, lose her glasses. I mean, wink, wink. I don't know where those went. If you lost her glasses...
I've had to go that route before with you because I've flat out told you not to wear something and you would continue to wear them and then they just end up
And I would say, hey,
gone.
Do you know where those shoes went? You're like, I don't know where those are right now. And I'm like, that means you know where they went. She's right. I don't know where they went now. I know where I dropped them, but I'm sure the garbage man took them somewhere else.
I'm not lying.
I know, you're being honest. But that's another more, mischievous, devious way of doing it if you don't like them that bad.
But here's the thing. She probably only has one pair of glasses, and she needs those in the evening when she takes her contacts out. So she has to have her glasses. So you can't throw away eyeglasses. That's something that you just can't.
I don't know how it works. Can you just break some frames?
Accidentally sit on them?
Or do like our son did. Remember? He got home from the military. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. His first day home from the Army or from the Navy. Very first day home, he had these Navy glasses. He goes, look at this. They're indestructible. And he snapped them in half.
We're like, no, they're not.
Apparently they're not indestructible. So maybe you could ask. Those are pretty beefy glasses. How tough are those? Let me see it. Snap them in half. Oh, wow. I didn't mean to do that. Now think about how many young ladies listening right now are going to have boyfriends that are going to be trying to break their glasses. All right. Again, if you have a Dear John letter you'd like to submit for next week's program, we'll do this every Thursday at this time. Simply send a message to the John and Heidi Show Facebook page. Whether we use it on the air or not, every single letter gets answered through Facebook, and we'll offer our advice, and we promise to keep your identity 100% anonymous. So if you'd like to send a message, go to facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Send a message there.
John and Heidi.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad, but don't know where to start? No one knows your loved ones better than you do, and no one knows senior living better than A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their loved ones. The Senior Living Advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. Call 1-800-471-5173. That's 1-800-471-5173.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Marie Osmond lost 31 pounds while appearing on Dancing with the Stars. We need to dance a little more, that's all.
I would love to learn to dance like that,
man.
like they do on that show.
Did I just open a can of worms? Now I got to learn how to dance?
I would love that. Let's do that.
No. If I did that, instead of Dancing with the Stars, it'd be Dancing with the Scars when I fall and break my neck. Wouldn't be good. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
V-neck sweaters were once considered immoral and unhealthy. That was in the 1920s. Do not wear a V-neck sweater.
Alrighty.
Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
50% of your body heat is through your head. So second are hands, and then feet are third. So you lose 50% of your body heat through your head. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Air traffic controllers in China speak English over the airwaves. English is the language used by air traffic controllers all over the world. So everywhere. That's good to know. I didn't know that. But you would think
the people flying the planes would have to be able to understand.
Exactly.
And if everybody has learned English pretty much, because Americans haven't learned other languages, so they pretty much just have to make sure that people don't die.
I can only imagine us trying to land. We're like, El Lando, well, we're coming in. You better get out of the way. Here we come. I don't even know. That's good that they thought of that.
Yeah.
But, why can't we have that everywhere? That would just be nice. All right. Coming up in a bit, we've got more fun stuff on a Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're trying to make a great first impression at your new job, got a couple of tips for you here. This is from Career Builder. They said people are, really, really struggling to find the right job. So when you finally find something you like and you want to make a good first impression, here's some tips. Start fresh. When preparing to leave your old position, you'll probably be busy tying up loose ends right up until you walk out the door on your last day. That's why it's important to unwind and clear your head before you start your new job. Try to take at least a few days off between leaving old job, starting new job, if you can do that.
Right.
That's a good idea. Next, assess the corporate culture. After starting your new job, spend some time studying the culture of the firm, considering arriving 30 minutes early and leaving a half hour late on your first day, just to get the sense of how many others in your group do that. Because, if you're the only one that shows up on time, then you're kind of by default the only one that's late every day.
Okay.
Next, clarify expectations. It's important to be on the same page. My mouse on my computer must be dying. My stuff is like jumping up and down here. It's important to be on the same page as your manager from the start. So within the first couple of days, meet with him or her to discuss your responsibilities and get to know your position and how you fit into the grand scheme of things. It's a good idea. I could tell you about my first day at a job that was just awful. I've shared that story before, where nobody knew I was starting other than one person.
Yeah,
remember
that?
That was so. I remember calling you that day. I was like,
yeah,
this is kind of interesting. Yeah, because I went in and nobody knew I was coming, and he wasn't even there. So I leave and I call Heidi. I'm like, well, I know we just moved to a different state for this job and all, but nobody even knows I'm starting
that was weird.
today. Says next, get to know the team. While the boss is likely the one that'll take you around to introduce you, make sure that you reach out and say, hi, I'm John. Hi, I'm whoever you are. If your name's not John, don't use that line. It's not gonna work. And the last thing is have a game plan. Think like an executive by developing a strategy to guide you through your first 30 days on the new job. Not only will you remain on the right path, but your plan will also serve as a useful tool for your first review. Include goals that you hope to accomplish and steps that you must take to reach them, and you're going to be well on your way. There you go. A couple of tips from the folks at Career Builder. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Only 2 in 10 Americans say they're ready for the unthinkable. Are you ready for a natural disaster? What would happen if you were not able to go out to get food for your family during extreme weather? How long would you be okay without power and without access to get more food? Wise Company has the ultimate emergency preparedness pack with enough emergency food kits for a week, or upgrade to be prepared for a month or longer. Call toll-free 888-552-3759. It pays to be prepared. Learn more at radiosavings.com.
John
Good hearing is something we all take for granted. Anytime we'd like, we can go out for dinner and we can head to the movies and we can hear all of the things, and it's just a luxury that some people don't have. Most TV shows offer closed captioning for the hearing impaired, but now movie theaters might have to as well. They have not gone that route for one reason or another. Why not? That question is being asked by some deaf people in Oregon saying, hey, we'd like to be able to go to the movies. They're asking them to install devices that would allow them to see closed captioned films.
That only makes sense.
It does. Theater owners and operators say it's just too cost prohibitive. It would cost $15,000 per screen to install this technology. So there has to be a better way. I thought of this instantly when I was reading the story. Exactly. You just thought of what I thought of. Why couldn't somebody develop an app that would be a closed captioning app?
Then there are screens on in the movie theater distracting everybody else trying to watch the movie.
It doesn't have to be a bright screen. It could be a thing where it's like a black screen with white letters, and if you're holding it down,
But then you're watching that and not the movie. So that would be the problem there.
Maybe it's there's got to be a way.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
We'll think of this, and we're going to have the John and Heidi app. We're going to have our development team work on this. Well, that's right. We don't have one of those. We have no budget. Anyway, I think it's a good idea, but I think it'd be really cool if it was something you could take with you from place to place, too. Anyway, we'll come up with a way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Coming soon, a machine that will not only wash your clothes, but it will trim your figure as well. If you need to get in shape and can't afford one of those expensive memberships to a gym, you need to wash your clothes, but can't afford one of those expensive washing machines. Take a listen to what the University of Australia is working on. I don't know why, but some university students have unveiled a new pedal-powered washing machine, which can be used to have people in developing countries or those who want to lose weight. They could wash their clothes, and it doesn't require electricity or even a water supply. The simple design also means it can be built extremely cheap. So you would dump water in it, but you don't hook it to water.
Oh, okay.
So you'd put water in there, and then you pedal this thing, and when you're done, you apparently pull the clothes out, and I don't know what you do. And I don't know that this is a cool idea for third world countries where they don't have access to stuff. That's a cool idea. But the whole story, they're trying to make it sound like you're going to put this in your house and use it.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening.
Me neither. I don't know.
I don't see that happening.
Maybe there's some people out there that just heard that and said,
we have
I
a
would
hard
do
time
that.
getting laundry done when the machine does all the work. I can't imagine that
I have
happening.
had clothes that I put in the hamper, and then it was time to wear them again. I was like, yeah, I can get one more use out of this shirt. Where's that cologne I have? It's somewhere here.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening here. People are so pressed for time that...
What you doing? I'm pedaling my washing bike. Coming up, we're going to talk about a stealth bomber and how it was saved by Walmart. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that.
John and Heidi.
Do you shop online? Do you like to save money? Save money with Honey. Let me explain. Honey is a really smart tool that's free to use. I'm not really an online shopper. I get as many things locally as possible, but there are some things you can only buy online. So when I heard about Honey, I thought, what the heck? It's free. I'll give it a shot. The very first time I used it was for a domain name. It's usually $12.99. Honey searched the internet and found me a discount code, so I bought it from the same exact website for just 99 cents. So I saved $12. It's absolutely free, so what do you have to lose? Check it out at SaveMoneyWithHoney.com. This is kind of an interesting story, and I actually saw this floating around like a month ago online. The B-2 stealth bomber cost $1 billion to make, but the pilots would not have been able to fly their long missions if it weren't for our friends at Walmart. Did you see this, or did you hear anything about this?
No, I haven't.
There was a report from London that our pilots had to fly 30-hour missions during the Kosovo bombings, and that would not have been possible without an $8 lawn chair from Walmart. They had to put these things in so the co-pilot could take a nap and the pilot could fly. The chair fit right behind the seats, and they kept the pilot from feeling the massive vibrations because they were kind of hovering there. So they're, according to the story, real American heroes for providing their $8 chairs, which they probably sold us as taxpayers. But I thought that was kind of an interesting story. So there you go. Coming up in a bit here, we've got some good news that we're going to get to. Earlier in the program, we were talking about, there was kind of a fun story where the air traffic controllers in every country in the world speak English. And Heidi and I got in this discussion as to why Why couldn't everybody speak? So explain your reasoning again.
I just said if they all know how to speak English already. I mean, every country is learning English. So why not just make English the universal language
but you
everywhere?
Said because more people speak English than anything else. But I said no, Mandarin Chinese.
No, more countries speak English than anything else.
So
they all know English is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's already their native language. I'm saying they know it because they have learned it. Okay. So why not just adapt? It would make everything so much easier. Everybody knows English either as their first language or as a second language. Why not just make it the language? And then everybody could talk to everybody all the time.
Or we could all learn other languages.
But why? Why know 6 if you could all just know 1?
This conversation is far more tame than it was off the air. It's still interesting, but it was way more interesting off the air. Okay.
It makes sense, is what I'm saying. It makes sense.
Heidi, you crack me up. Coming up, we've got some good news. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
I've got some good news for you here because we always try to end with good news. And I got, again, 2 stories if we've got time for them. First one, the story starts out with good news. That's the first 2 words, so you know it's good news. Sleeping a few extra hours on Saturday and Sunday is not slothful. It's healthy. Getting too little sleep, which is an epidemic, by the way, in our 24/7 society, is a major contributor to type 2 diabetes. Researchers from the University of Chicago have determined that 2 consecutive nights of extended sleep, which is a typical weekend occurrence, appears to counteract the increased risk of type 2 diabetes associated with short-term sleep restrictions.
You're always waking me up early.
Yeah, I'll let you sleep in. I think we should just go to bed earlier. Then we can, get up earlier, too. Early to bed, early to rise, makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. There you go. And our other good news, this is something that is not the same kind of good news. This is just good news that makes me feel good, and I think our son's going to love this. For years, people have touted a theory that all Pixar films are connected. Have you ever heard people talk about that? Like Our Son?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you've heard that because I've heard him say that. Well, a video posted on the official Toy Story Facebook page, Disney is now admitting that the theory is true. Video features short clips from every single Pixar movie to date and shows the fans were exactly right, and it shows where to find what they call Easter eggs that bring them all full circle. And I've made it easy. I put a link on our page to make you nerd out.
I have to watch that one.
We'll do it together.
I'd
we'll
like
do that
to
right
watch
now together. So it's really kind of cool. And I've caught some of them in the movies where you're going, oh, hey, that could be. Yeah, that would make sense. And our son had like a fan theory on a couple of these.
Yeah.
And he was right. So I can't wait to call our son and say, hey, guess what? You were right.
I'll have to let him know.
Yeah. So if you'd like to see that, again, nerds gather on our page because that's where it is. Hey, nothing wrong with being a nerd. It's kind of fun being a
proud nerd.
Yeah. Check it out at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.